peeps. I just wanted to um turn away from like the general reactions and queer video stuff, and I just kind of wanted to bring awareness to something very negative that is happening in our world currently at the moment. I know a lot of the people there in the U.S. must be very well aware of what's going on, and if you aren't, that's okay. I don't always really keep up with the news myself either, because quite frankly I hate politics, and the, the news is often very sucky, so yeah, I tend not to keep up with it myself very often. But if you are aware of what is happening, you would know about the legislations they're trying to bring out in the US, and a lot of them can very negatively impact a hell of a lot of people that would be living there in the US. And speaking about things like this that happen is very close to my heart because I am also part of the queer community. I'm not in the US, but it doesn't, quite honestly, it doesn't matter where you are. If you hear something bad about something that's happening to people that are pretty much like you, it is awful to hear because, I mean, come on, you don't want your fellow queer people to be suffering through things because quite often a lot of us know what that feels like. I didn't have a very good high school experience, and that's because a lot of people were dicks, and gosh, I will say that the part of South Africa that I live in isn't the worst area for queer people like me, but there are areas in Africa that are still very much negative towards queer people, like Ghana, for example. I don't know how much the people overseas that are watching this right now know about Ghana, but they also have an anti-gay bill that will or will not pass. We'll see how it goes in the future, but I really want to know what I can try and do to stop these things. Because I am terrible at politics. I know I wouldn't be able to do anything with that, but if any of you know of something that I would be able to do, apart from bring awareness to it, and apart from donating, because unfortunately I don't have enough to donate, sadly, but in the future I would love to do things like that. But is there anything that I can do? Please let me know. I am going to read some extracts, and I'm gonna read some things to just bring awareness to the people that aren't aware of what those bills would actually make happen, what the negative impact of those bills would be, just so people can be aware of this. Um, I would like to also, in the future, maybe in the next video after I found that article again, I would like to read some excerpts about the anti-gay bill that they want to pass in Ghana, because there were actually some really negative things that high-ranking people had to say. I think this one person, I can clearly remember it when I was reading the article, but I will post the article somewhere on one of my social media platforms. Either that, or I will show the excerpts that I'm speaking about currently in another video. But there was literally a quote that I can clearly remember. A politician or someone of that rank literally said they don't care if LGBTQ plus people get hunted down and get killed. This was said in an article about Ghana and the LGBTQ plus people there. I am not joking. I will show this in a video if there is possible people that don't believe me, but I promise you this is literally a quote that I remember reading. And I'm sure there are people that are watching this video that aren't necessarily surprised to hear something like that being said, because yeah, there are still a lot of negative people and a lot of bigots that go against queer people. So yeah, quite a few of you wouldn't be surprised to hear that type of speech coming from people that are against queer people like us. But okay, so so here goes. This is one of the headlines to an article that I saw. If you guys do want to read the articles, don't worry. I will have the links to the articles that I'm referencing in my description, just in case you guys do want to go read it. But I highly recommend that you do, because the excerpts and the titles that I'm about to give you are not the only things that it says. So if you want to go look at it more deeply and want to read everything it says there, I will have the links in the description. So this article's headline says, "How you personally can fight the anti-trans bills surging across the US." And I'll be honest here, I have absolutely no idea what to do, because I think someone in a political standpoint would have more of an idea of what to do, like Harvey Milk did. You know who Harvey Milk was? He was someone that fought for gay rights, LGBTQ plus rights, back in the 19, and I will lie if I say the last two numbers. I have a terrible memory. But I personally don't know what to do. I already said this in the beginning. I don't know what to do to help. So if anyone has advice, if you can maybe, if you have advice on what I can do to help in either Ghana or the US, would it help to make a petition? Would it help to protest? Because I'll be honest, I've never protested before, but even if I'm the only person in my whole in the whole town that I live in here that's walking through the streets with protesting signs, just trying to gather up people to protest with me, even if I have to do that, I will do that. If it will help, I will do that. I promise. I hardly have any confidence, but I'm telling you, I would happily do it. Happily. Just to help people out there, because I may not always have had it as bad as a lot of the people in those countries, but I can tell you, I know what it feels like to be discriminated against. I know what it feels like to be treated like shit because of who you are. I know what it feels like. I really do. Whether it be on social media or in person, I know what it feels like. So I really want to help. Please, anyone that knows of anything good that I would be able to do to help, please do not hesitate. And under the under the title I just read like a minute ago before I started ranting again. Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny. Gosh, I don't know how to react in serious situations always, but coordinated efforts by hate groups have led to pieces of legislation targeting trans kids in 33 states this year. Here's what to do wherever you are. So, peeps, 33 states. I know, I don't know how big America is, and I'm not sure if those are all of the states, but that sounds like that sounds like a biggie. That sounds like a huge cut of the USA. That sounds like a pretty huge cut of them. And I'd say that that would be a very, very bad future for a big part of America. Because, gosh. Okay, so, I'm going to read part of what I screenshotted of the article. I thought those were basically the main points I should focus on. So here goes. Mississippi, South Dakota, and Tennessee have already passed anti trans bills or implemented their key parts through executive action, while other states continue to consider transphobic legislation. There are a variety of ways anyone around the country can work to derail these bills as anti trans sentiments and policies ramp up through the US. We'll get into actions you can take below, but the first step is knowing what we're up against. The threats to trans rights are organized anti-LGBTQ plus hate groups. Like, okay, I didn't screenshot all the hate groups. If you want to go look up the hate groups, you can go look them up. They will be very easy to find. Or no, actually, they will be in the article when I link it. So you will be able to read them there. I just wanted to highlight what these bills would be doing to trans people in the US because. Oh, gosh. Okay, so the Florida House Bill 1475. I'm not sure how you pronounce those. Like I said, I'm not big on politics. I don't know much about it. So forgive me if I'm pronouncing the bills wrong, the number wise things, because like I said, I'm bad at politics. The Florida House Bill 1475 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender identity. If you guys have kept up with the big deal that a lot of people made about trans girls entering women's sports and stuff like that, athletics wise, you would know that a lot of people are basically just complaining because they think trans girls have more of an advantage because of how they were assigned at birth. And I can tell you, I've literally done my own research just so I could argue against people if they were to come up to me and start arguing about it or give those types of opinions. I have literally done my own research on it. It does not give them an advantage. If anything, if they had like, if anything, estrogen and okay. Before anyone possibly thinks I am trying to sound sexist, I am not. I am not saying estrogen makes you a weaker life form. That is not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it basically brings them to the normal level that all the other women athletes would be at. And if they were to be more muscly, if they were to have more muscle or something like that, that's because they obviously still kept working out after going on hormones. That's not because of before hormones or any. Okay, I'm not going to get into talk about that because I am not a scientist. I'm not a trans woman, so I don't feel I necessarily have the right to actually speak about their experiences, but plainly said, I have researched it myself. Them being assigned differently at birth before going on estrogen does not give them an advantage in sports and athletics at all. It does not, because if anything, if they did have an advantage before they went on hormones, I'm pretty sure yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay, it's just a really stupid argument that a lot of people had. Because honestly, they're women too, so I don't really see why there should be a problem. The Kansas Senate Bill 208 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender identity. Governor Laura Kelly's contact information can be found here. Okay. Missouri House Joint Resolution would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams. Oh, 5-3. Oh, I don't think I read that. Missouri House Joint Resolution 5-3 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender identity. I think most of these are basically to do with trans women that want to just participate in sports along with the other people of the same gender. I don't. Of course, I don't. I wouldn't understand how a bigot thinks, but I'll never understand why people are having an argument about that because it makes no sense. They're women too, so get the fuck over it. Gosh. Um, would ban Montana H112 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender identity. Governor Greg Gianforte's contact information can be found here. Montana's area code is 406. Sorry if I'm reading unnecessary things. I don't know if it might be important. So North Carolina SB 514 would require state employees to report children who display gender nonconformity. Oh boy. The thing is though, it's not even just trans people that are gender nonconforming. I have seen cis people that are gender nonconforming. So it's not just trans people. So if anything, the cis people that are also gender nonconforming would also be in trouble if that bill were to be passed, and so many people would unnecessarily be in trouble. North Dakota HB 1298 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender identity. I don't understand these bigots' problem. Texas SB 1646 would make providing gender affirming care a form of child abuse. I don't know where the fuck they get this from. How would it make it child abuse? If anything, there's been a bigger percentage of people being happier in their lives than the 0.1 something percent of people that actually detransition. The amount of people that detransition is so fucking low. It's not even necessarily relevant in a trans argument, really, because it's so low. Why would it be child abuse if it makes someone happy? Oh, these fucking idiots. And West Virginia HB 3293 would ban trans girls from participating on sports teams that match their gender. This bill is almost at the governor's desk. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Okay, but you guys are getting my point, right? Because this is basically what these bills would be causing. This is what they would cause. It's not in all those areas exactly the same, but it's it's still shitty if that were to go through because gosh, no. But those are all the legislations that they listed. Now I'm gonna read another excerpt. Here's a useful list of some other groups and organizations that could use your help in states where anti trans bills are law or are close to becoming law. Equality KS, Equality NC, Equality TX, Fairness WV, Transmission, Intransitive, Center for Artistic Resolution, Mississippi Rainbow Center, Montana Gender Alliance, Montana Human Rights Network, Student Advocates of North Dakota, TEAP, slash thingy, MS, Transformation Project, Transgender Education Network of Texas, Tennessee Transgender Political Coalition. So, like I already said to you guys, those will be in the article that I link in the description. Um, I really hope those bills don't pass because, gosh. I also just wanted to, I do still have a few more things, obviously, but there's also um, two articles that I wanted to link. Um, there's only one article that I just read excerpts from. I'm not going to be reading excerpts from the Ghana the Ghana attack, the Ghana anti gay bill. Sorry. Um, I'm not going to be reading excerpts from that, but I will leave the two article links in the description as well. But I just wanted to read the headings. LGBTQ Ghanaians face attacks following anti-gay bill. The rising violence against the LGBTQ plus community in Ghana follows trends across the continent. And another one, explainer, what makes Ghana's anti-gay bill so extreme? A closer look at what exactly the proposed promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill contains. Erasing our existence, Ghana's anti-LGBTQ plus bill blamed for rise in attacks. Yeah, that has actually been something that has been happening because of that bill that they want to pass, and because of that comment that person made that I mentioned earlier in the video. I promise, if I do find this article, I will either add the link in the description as well, or like I said, I will show you the excerpts that I was speaking of in a following video. But I'm almost sure that because of what that person said, the people that are attacking queer people feel it's not wrong to do so and feel it's completely legal just because they're trying to get a legislation passed. Because a lot of stupid, bigoted people and a lot of idiotic people are basically just like that. They just think if something's on its way to possibly becoming legal, it's legal. Okay, so this is a little bit more information that I got off an Instagram post. I'm sorry, I didn't screenshot who posted it, but it's not mine. I did get it from someone else's Instagram post. But they also took from someone else's post. So but the main person that brought the information, their name is there, so credit to them for bringing us this information. TW, discussion of transgenocide in the US. I'm serious. If you are transgender, I highly encourage you to skip this one. I will leave a warning in the in either the description or in the title as well, because there are people that find reading things like this triggering or hearing things like this triggering, and I understand that. I just wanted to bring awareness to this, but if hearing about these types of things could be triggering, if what you've heard so far hasn't been triggering to you and you want to continue listening, that is fine. But if what you've heard so far is possibly it is very triggering to you, I would suggest you stop the video and go watch something else on YouTube that would comfort you more than trigger you, or basically just plainly something that would comfort you and not trigger you, because gosh, I haven't read it completely yet. I just screenshotted it for this video. But ooh. Okay. I'm serious. If you are transgender, I highly encourage you to skip this one. I'm making this post solely for the purpose of educating people who are unaware of what's going on. Keep yourself safe mentally and physically. Yes, like I said, if so far what you've seen has been triggering to you, don't continue watching. Close the video and go watch a show that you like. Go watch another YouTube channel that comforts you. Do not continue watching if this is triggering. Okay, so the post was made by Alyssa Mackenzie. Transgender people in the United States are now the victims of stage 8 of the 10 steps of genocide. The steps that have already happened: 1. Classification. 2. Symbolization. 3. Discrimination. 4. Dehumanization. 5. Organization. 6. Polarization. 7. Preparation. 8. Persecution. The only stages left are extermination and denial. Florida has bills introduced yesterday which are the beginning of that process. This is as real as it gets. The 10 stages of genocide. 1. Classification. People are divided into us and them. 2. Symbolization. People are forced to identify themselves. 3. Discrimination. People begin to face systematic discrimination. 4. Dehumanization. People equated with animals, vermin, or disease. 5. Organization. The government creates specific groups, police or military, to enforce the policies. Polarization. 6. Polarization. The government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. 7. Preparation. Official action to remove or relocate people. Persecution. Beginning of murders, theft of property, trial massacres. 9. Extermination. Wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination and not murder because the people are not considered human. 10. Denial. The government denies that it has committed any crime. So, that is pretty much what is happening, and it's horrific, and it is terrifying. I'm not even in the US, and I am terrified for them. Further, the post says, credit, and the next part of the post, credit to @Madison Werner. I apologize if I didn't pronounce your surname or so correctly. This week, the conservative commentator Michael Knowles called for the eradication of transgenderism from public life. In his speech at the CPAC, Conservative Political Action Coalition, Dick. Okay, so the original person that posted all of these together then ended the post on, "This is likely the only big post I'm going to make about this issue. As a huge trans ally, as well as a trans person myself, I am incredibly mentally drained by seeing this stuff in the news on social media all the time. I'm sending love to all of you, especially those of you who are affected by this. I wish there was more that I could do. With all of my heart, fuck the GOP, fuck trans folks, fuck Republicans." I'm with you there, person. I don't know your pronouns, so I'm just gonna call you person if that's alright. But yeah, that's what's happening in the world. I know what they mean by me mentally drained after reading those things. I feel a little mentally drained myself at the moment. And to think I had a little bit of energy left in me before I did this video. Gosh. So, this is what's happening. And like I said, if there are any people in the comments that could give me anything that I could possibly do to help, start a petition or go protest in the street on my own till there are more people following me that actually agree, I will do that. If it will help, if it will make a scene, if it will help in any possible way, please let me know what I can do. Please. Because I hate that this is happening. Especially so far away from me where I can't necessarily just gather up a bunch of money and go there and try and do something. But while I'm over here, please let me know what I can do. Anyone in the comments that is aware of something that I can do to help, please. Please, I am begging you, let me know what I can do to help. So, I'm gonna end the video now. If I've heard any other happenings about it, I will do another video about it, and I will let you guys know what has happened. and thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video.